everyone. Today I'm joined by Joseph Reed, founder of Music Unlimited Atlanta. Thanks for being here, Joseph.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, I like to just jump right in. So if we could start, just tell us about yourself. I know you're a musician, you teach music, and so I want to hear a little bit more about your journey there. And then if you can share with us how you got to Music Unlimited Atlanta as far as creating that, and anything you want to share about that.
Yeah. So I'm a musician. I've been doing music since I was, before I can remember, really. My parents said I was doing music, violin, guitar, piano. Grew up in school playing music. And then became a music teacher, studied in school, college, and became a music teacher out of college. And then all along the way, always doing performing as well. So performing and education kind of going hand in hand and back and forth. Moved to Atlanta 2009. And throughout the process, just learning more about different ways of sharing music, different ways of teaching music, learning music. And so I had a fun experience with, just kind of exploring alternative education methods. And that kind of opened my eyes to possibilities and inspired me to start Music Unlimited.
So what would be examples of where, certain alternative styles spoke to you or even worked for you?
Mm-hmm. So I compare the alternatives to what I think about as the traditional. So teaching in the public schools, there's, a set curriculum. There's, your class is all one age, and you just kind of go through the motions, and it's a lot of fun because we're doing music, but it's kind of regimented. Whereas some of these alternative education models, like I learned about, I used to try in my classroom too, do in my classroom, getting multi-ages together so they can learn from each other. And I learned about a school called the Sudbury Valley School, where they used to have, well, they still do have children of all different ages together, and they give them a lot of time to play on their own and explore on their own. And so I started incorporating those different ideas, giving more responsibility to the learners, more trust to the learners, and just more playful overall, a more playful approach to learning rather than me telling you what to do all the time. It's like, hey, let's explore, let's play together and share together and learn that way.
How do you see, so obviously every child learns differently. Do some kids take really well to that? And do some kids sometimes need like this more structured, like they just sit there, there's that sort of internal motivation and whatever gets that going. Is there the intimidated kid who isn't comfortable in that setting of kind of jamming or whatever? And how do you draw them out, or do you give them some structure first and then bring them back into that environment? How do you work with those different learners?
Yeah, everyone is different. I think for children, what I've seen, at least the ones that I've worked with, like playing is like most natural for them. It's like easy. Sometimes if they're older, they've been kind of trained to, sit still, wait for the teacher to tell you what to do, sort of thing. And so with those, it's like they may feel uncomfortable, like, hey, you mean I get to just kind of play? And so give them a little while to loosen up, and they do. What I have found sometimes, though, is that there's different like engagement levels. Some people like to be more competitive, and so I have some like music theory card games, like my music cards game, where it's like, a lot of thinking, strategy, competition. And then there's some who are just like, they'll kind of make up the rules. Let's just make some noise on this instrument or that instrument. And then from that noise, we'll start to morph into some music and things like that. And so different ways of playing, I notice. And just being aware and of what's going on and how can we incorporate different people's ideas about how we should play together so that it's fun for everybody.
Right. That's really, that's unique for sure. That's good. I mean, probably a lot of kids take to that where they feel intimidated otherwise. So that's great. Yeah. By the way, I know you made reference to this, but you incorporate, it's called multidimensional knowledge exchange in the experience of learning music. Where did you learn that? And can you just give a little more detail about how that works? And because it sounds like that's something that's unique to what you do.
Yeah. So it's kind of a fancy term we made up, but really it means, if you think about multi-level teaching and multi-level learning. And so in schools, they used to do multi-level teaching. They used to do sometimes like third and fourth grade together. And you can have some of the children who are more advanced working with the children who are less advanced, and it just enhances the learning for everybody. So what we decided to do is take and expand it. So take the beginner all the way through advanced, and both teaching the different levels together and having the different levels learning from one another together. Some cool ways that we do this is like, one of my favorite ways is like family. I get families together. And so you have, mom, dad, little sister, little brother, sometimes a friend, maybe a cousin, just a lot of different people together. And they already have interrelated dynamics on how they relate and learn together. And so the children naturally have a learning, they learn from their parents, and the parents are open up to relate to their children. And so that mix where you have different ages, different skill levels together really enhances the educational ecology, the amount of possible ways people can learn and share from one another. It's really neat that I know sometimes as a teacher, I may be the expert in the room about, this concept or that concept. But for me, like, to explain something, a lot of times it comes off as an expert talking, and the learner is like, what are you talking about? That sounds so complicated. But somebody who may have just learned it, now they're, a little bit seasoned beginner or maybe intermediate. Now they are able to say, oh, let me explain it to you. And they can explain it in a much easier way because it's fresh for them. And so just tapping into those kind of resources and how people are thinking and the fluidity between ideas and playfulness.
Wow, that's cool. I love the family opportunity too that you're offering. What about instruments? Like, are you wide open on the types of instruments that you're working with? I guess you have to have, or do you have other teachers who specialize in certain instruments with your students?
Mm-hmm. So right now, usually I provide most of the instruments, and we'll focus on instruments that are kind of common. So ukulele, guitar, violin, piano, or keyboard. Sometimes we'll bring in some brass instruments, flute, and then people will bring in their own instruments as well. Drums, shakers. Sometimes if we don't have enough instruments, people take their keys or take a pot and a pan and bang them together. And
where can someone find out about Music Unlimited Atlanta? Where's the best place to go to learn more?
So to find more information, the best place is the website. So musicunlimitedatlanta.com. And so that's where you can find out about the philosophy, some of the types of offerings that we do. And on the website, we'll be updating it and making it more information and more connections. But to get a basic idea, that's the best place. And then as far as contacting me to check out how you can get a session or get your family together to do a jam or something like that. My phone number, 404-494-0316 is really good. Or you can also email Jospeh at musicunlimitedatlanta.com. And yeah, just have a conversation. Usually what I'll do is we'll just schedule a free meeting and say, hey, what is it you're looking to do? We'll talk and see if it's a good fit, and we'll go from there.
That's fantastic. It's a great website. Everybody check it out, musicunlimitedatlanta.com. I thought it was really helpful just learning more about what you're doing. So yeah, it'd be good for people to go see what you're up to. So thanks so much for sharing with us what you have going on there at Music Unlimited Atlanta, and what you have to offer. Good luck with everything, Joseph. We really appreciate having you here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.